And a good afternoon, late afternoon, 5 p.m. UK time, 19th of December 2017 now. What you see on screen, and this is all about the Storyboard app on Android, the new research at Google thing, and that is about design. So I'm going to show you a few slides. That's the first slide, I'll come back to in a second. It's about design. So in other words, what I did, here we go. What you see on screen is one of the first collages I did with a label at the bottom left, which has got absolutely nothing to do with the comic strip or book as such. It is merely naming the police officers, West Midlands Police, and saying it's by the Storyboard app. That's one early design. Then I moved on and I said, okay, let's do another one. This is completely brand new to me with the Storyboard app. Remember, I've been testing stuff for Google, and as a trusted tester, I'm allowed to say that, since 2012 across various products. We're all trusted testers in our own way. So let's concentrate on the point of what you're seeing on screen. Here are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 different images. Again, this is a pure label. This was early. Then I moved on. I said, okay, I'm getting a bit more happy with this. And this is the one that was shared last night on Twitter. And that is, I tried to look at an example where, in this case, it's Sgt Tangye, who is a sergeant with the Devon and Cornwall Police in the UK, and he's taking a flight in a vintage Spitfire. But his father, the late Sgt Tangye, is published author, also a Spitfire pilot in the war, as well as many other incredible things that he did in his life. So what I've done is I've tried to tell the story, and I've said that if we take the video which is at YouTube and extract the frames, of course, and make the storyboard, can we lay over the words of Sgt Tangye? In other words, what he said was, well, the Spitfire was a wonderful aeroplane, and in conditions like that, it's just an incredible moving thing. And then he comes down and he does a poem here, which is a couple of verses from, or a verse even. And anyway, that's it. The point of it, without getting deep into the actual story of the Spitfire, Nigel and Sgt Tangye, we've actually looked at the slide, and this was tweeted out eventually last night, and I think he got a good response. But the point of it is, let's have a look at it. So every time I go to the Storyboard app, what I'm getting is 1, 2, 3. I'm getting 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. I could add up all of those smaller images that you see. What I've chosen to do with the comic book font is put the font interlaid in 1, 2, 3 very clear areas. We can keep going on. We could argue that there's far too many pictures there. We could argue that to get a decent look at it, then you only really need, say, an area. We could argue many things. So let's go back to the next one that I did. Now this one, if you follow Googlers like Nat and Friends, she's got a wonderful YouTube channel. It's also a Googler, and they did a very good video called Will Computers Ever Hear Like People Do by Nat and Friends, and it was published on the 17th of November. I'll put the link in this YouTube description. What I did there is I wanted to see how the frames were extracted, and I did quite a few pull downs before I got a set that I liked. You'll notice also that there are 6 visual styles, and I've chosen a few of them. So in other words, we've got a colour, we've got a crosshatch on the right, I think that's a crosshatch again, and then on its own, and this thing kept coming up all the time, was this thing about trombone, and there's another couple of guests there who are being interviewed. So the point of it is that if you look at the image that we've got on screen, what we've got are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 and 6. I could start cutting these up like verticals. You notice that there is a vertical rectangle there which isn't doing much, but I think it kind of like borders between the two. And there's a look out the window there. That one's an easy one to look at because it's nice to look at it. It kind of sets the context and the scene. Similarly, this one here of Nat, I think it looks quite nice. But the point of it is that is another style of using the Storyboard app. Again, total test. Going on to the next one, and that is where I've got 19 different screens. If you see that on screen here, we've actually got 1 where my mouse is, 2, in other words, it's quartered up. and then within the quarters we've got a smaller number of images. And I've never made comic books or anything, ever before. And what I've done is I've started looking at it, and I've used Google Drawings here, and this is just a screenshot. And you can see I'm laying some text over, and I'm also figuring out the dimensions. I'll mention it right now, and that is that when you do a frame here, it's 92.5% of your 16:9 format on a mobile phone. In other words, where you get the triangle, the circle, and the thing at the bottom, that cuts off that border. So if I was trying to format on a 16:9 rectangle, it just doesn't fit, and I figured that out, and I'll cover that in a separate video. The point of it is about dimensions, it's about simple math. So going on, and this is the thing that got on Twitter again last night, is what we've got is a 10-minute video from Sgt Harry Tangye from Devon and Cornwall Police in the UK, and he goes out on a bank holiday, and that's why I've called it, of course, the Sgt Harry Tangye a bank holiday shift. And then I've started off and looked at the frames that it's been given, and I have to use a little bit of artistic license here, and it's pretty obvious that, and it's true, let's be fair, and that is that it says, okay, just loading up for the bank holiday shift, it's now 5 to 2 in the afternoon. He was actually doing that. I'm not sure where this frame comes, but he's obviously in his police car. Let's just see how it goes. And then it goes down to here, which is a really problematic, and that, of course, we've got Sergeant Harry with his hat on. I've got a job to attend. There's a piece of wood in the road with nails sticking in it. This is taken from 1,400 words spoken by him on his vlog at YouTube, so I've got to figure out what's pertinent. That works really well. Behind this speech bubble is just an area of black, so it works okay. But then we've got his head again there, which is really difficult to do because I don't think I did it very well. But when you step back a little bit, it doesn't look too bad. However, when you start to go on to the other one, this is as far as I've got, and that's why I'm sharing it and testing it and figuring this out to see what is useful for us. And that is, we've got left side, you could argue, looks okay. The right one kind of looks okay, but it's really fiddly, making these speech bubbles and these rectangles stick in. If I do a circle one, it really cuts off the text. I'm sure people who have been making comic books have done this for many years, but the point is I haven't, but I'm an all-rounder. I can have a crack at pretty much anything. So there we've got a few things there. Then it goes on, and just stepping back, that's the size, I think, the side rather of his BMW, and sometimes it's an unmarked police car, and you've got a black area up here which does beg, that we could add some text over that, or I could abandon all of that altogether and go back to the other version of just using these rectangles and then adding the spoken text or the annotation, shall we say, at the side. And I'll take people's advice on this and my own advice as I keep going. And if we step back a little bit further, we can see that we've got my whole page, which was the 4, of course, where I've got 2 layers at the top, and I can, if I really want to, start chopping these up and cropping them in Google Drawings or any other program. And we've got the 2, and that's as far as I've got. Going back to the bottom, look, we can see where we are, meaning as far as I have got. This one where he's gesturing with his hands is a frame that keeps appearing in the Storyboard app as it keeps moving on. Similarly, this is quite a good one where he's out on a road breakdown. He's got the RAC in the background. Notice I've not done any more text annotations because I've only had this Storyboard app for a little while, and that is as far as I've got. So if you think about where we came from the beginning, we started to get, I think, some pictures of some horses is the very first one. Then I looked at another police officer's one, which is in me. Just says, it's the thing that I do to support police anyway. But the point is, it's a very excellent way and valuable service, the police service, to support and their storytelling. So in other words, what I realised with this one is when we looked at it, if the video frames that are inserted into Storyboard, then we don't get much difference on screen. In other words, here you can see that there is one camera looking at the top table, one at the audience. That's pretty much all, really. If we go on to this one, I've made this video using at least a dozen different angles, I think, and you can see we've got the statue, we've got the sculptor, we've got things going on. Going back to the Harry Tangye one, the only viewpoint we had was from the cockpit of the Spitfire, so it's pretty much him, background, and the way the Earth moves as the Spitfire flies. And then we've got the next one, which was Nat and Friends, which has got, and this is the thing in my next video in this series, I'll be looking at the frames individually of how they select. Now, the Nat and Friends video had something like, I think it was 11 minutes 37 seconds or something, so what the Storyboard app has pulled in, I think it's missed an awful lot of frames, which it would do because it's an 11-minute video. If you think of the Sgt Tangye one here, that is actually a 10-minute video. So my next video, just summing up here, is really going on as we drift off into the background about how those frames are inserted into Storyboard and can we control them. Okay, thanks a lot for listening, and I do know that people are following this, and if you want to put some work in, then please do, and let me know how it's going on. And it's disappeared, it's gone.